Did you know Neymar once threw a party so outrageous, the Brazilian government launched a full-blown investigation just to figure out what the hell was going on behind those mansion gates? Neymar isn't just famous for breaking ankles on the pitch. He's infamous for breaking the bank off it. From Paris nightclubs to private islands in Brazil, this guy doesn't party like an athlete. He parties like a pop star, with no bedtime and no budget. In today's video, we're going inside the outrageous world of Neymar's $25 million party lifestyle. That's enough to buy over 100 luxury homes or pay the average fan's salary for the next 600 years. The wildest celebrations, the VIP-only guest lists, and the ridiculous amounts of cash that go flying out every time he decides to let loose. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until number 2, because that one almost blew up his entire reputation. Let's begin. Let's rewind to the night Neymar took over Paris. It's Paris, February 2020. Neymar's turning 28, but this isn't just a birthday. This is a statement. Instead of resting up before one of PSG's most important Champions League games of the season, Neymar rents out Yo-Yo nightclub, a pulsing underground hotspot right beneath the Palais de Tokyo. And this wasn't just any match. It was the round of 16 clash against Borussia Dortmund, a stage PSG had failed to move past in 3 consecutive seasons. Neymar wasn't just their star signing. He was the €222 million hope, the man brought in to end the curse and carry the club deeper into Europe. The pressure on him was massive. The stakes were sky high, and yet here he was, dancing in white leather, while fans wondered if he even cared. The dress code? All white, no exceptions. White suits, white fur, white leather jackets, models, influencers, cameras flashing. There were over 200 guests in total, including PSG teammates, Kylian Mbappe, Marco Verratti, Edinson Cavani, Angel Di Maria, Keylor Navas, and even Memphis Depay from rival club Lyon. You walk in and it feels less like a footballer's birthday, and more like the Met Gala got kidnapped by a bottle of Dom Perignon. And Neymar? He shows up in a custom white suit estimated at €2,500, complete with a white fedora and sneakers, grinning, injured, and completely unbothered. Inside, the champagne is endless. The music, loud enough to shake the Louvre, and the guest list, stacked. Married players were reportedly gathered on the upper floor, while the single ones had the dance floor below, a 2-tiered layout to keep things organized. The total cost? Around €500,000, covering the club rental, decor, high-end alcohol, private security, and a DJ set that ran until sunrise. But outside those club walls, the story was very different. Neymar was recovering from injury. He wasn't even going to play in the next match. And while he was on the dance floor, reporters were already sharpening their headlines. Coach Thomas Tuchel tried to keep it composed in the press conference, but his frustration slipped through. When asked about Neymar's all-white birthday bash, he said, "Is it the best way to prepare for a match? No, clearly not. Is it the worst thing in the world? Number, I always protect my players and I really love my team. With this party, I accept that it is a bit difficult to protect the players, but the context is not simply black or white." He added, "It is a shame because we are giving people the chance to speak badly of us. We need to adapt to the situation, but I am not going to leave a player on the bench or at home because they went out and celebrated." And in a way, he was right, because for 48 hours, no one was talking about tactics or lineups. They were talking about Neymar's outfit, the music, the champagne, and whether PSG's biggest star really had his head in the game. But here's the thing, Neymar knew exactly what he was doing. This wasn't about the match. It wasn't even about his birthday. This was about sending a message. If he can't be the star on the field, he'll be the star off it, no matter what. And that was just the warm-up. Because the next party, it didn't just spark headlines. It triggered a full-blown investigation. This one party got so big, the government got involved. Well, it's the end of 2020, a year marked by lockdowns and social distancing. While the world grappled with the pandemic, Neymar was reportedly preparing for a celebration that would make headlines. The venue? His sprawling mansion in Mangaratiba, Brazil, a property boasting a helipad, tennis courts, and even an underground disco. Reports surfaced that Neymar was hosting a 5-day New Year's Eve party with up to 500 guests. To maintain privacy, attendees were allegedly required to surrender their phones upon entry, ensuring no images or videos leaked to the public. The entertainment lineup was said to include Brazilian music stars Ludmilla and Wesley Safadão, promising performances that would keep the party alive well into the night. However, the timing and scale of the event drew significant criticism. Brazil was experiencing a surge in COVID-19 cases, and the idea of such a large gathering sparked outrage. In response to the backlash, the event's organizers claimed the party would be limited to 150 guests and that all health protocols would be followed. But knowing Neymar's character, who honestly expected him to wear a face mask and stay 3 meters apart from other guests? The man's not exactly known for subtlety or social distancing. Despite the official statement, the outrage didn't stop there. The sheer scale of the reported guest list, combined with the ongoing pandemic, was enough to prompt Brazilian prosecutors to launch an investigation into whether the event violated any public health restrictions. Neymar's representatives denied his involvement in organizing the party, and the footballer himself remained silent on the matter, sharing only family photos on social media during that period. This incident added to Neymar's reputation for extravagant celebrations, raising questions about the balance between personal indulgence and public responsibility. But this wasn't the first time Neymar's festivities stirred debate. Let's delve into another occasion where his party plans clashed with his professional commitments. Injured? No problem. There's still time for Carnival March 2025. Neymar, freshly back at Santos after a high-profile return, is expected to lead his team in a crucial semi-final against arch-rivals Corinthians. But instead of headlines about his performance on the pitch, the media is abuzz with photos of Neymar revealing at Rio's iconic Sambadrome during Carnival. Just days before the match, Neymar had been substituted in a game due to discomfort in his left thigh. Yet, his appearance at the festivities raised eyebrows. Come game day, Neymar remains on the bench for the entire 90 minutes. Santos loses 2-1. The absence of their star player in such a pivotal match doesn't go unnoticed. Critics are swift. Pundit Walter Casagrande Jr. remarks, "He chose Carnival over the semifinal." Neymar responds on Instagram, expressing his frustration and sadness at not being able to play, citing the discomfort he felt during a test on the morning of the match. Santos's coach, Pedro Caixinha, supports Neymar, stating it was his decision to keep the player on the bench as a precaution. Despite the explanations, the incident adds to the narrative of Neymar's off-field choices, overshadowing his on-field commitments. And as the dust settles from this controversy, another tale of Neymar's extravagant lifestyle awaits. One that involves a lavish celebration and a guest list that reads like a who's who of the entertainment world. The woman who tried to tame the party king. Before we dive into Neymar's inner circle, let's talk about someone who was once at the heart of his world, Bruna Biancardi. A model and fashion influencer, Bruna has collaborated with luxury brands like Louis Vuitton, Off-White, and Balmain. With a substantial social media following, she often shares glimpses of her jet-setting lifestyle, attending fashion weeks and vacationing in exotic locales. Bruna and Neymar's relationship was a roller coaster. They went public in early 2022, welcomed their daughter, Mavi, in October 2023, and announced their split just a month later. Throughout their time together, Bruna often found herself in the media spotlight, especially when Neymar's party antics made headlines. While she rarely commented publicly, insiders noted that she was disappointed by his actions, particularly during her pregnancy, choosing instead to focus on their daughter. Behind every Neymar selfie is a $10,000 Neymar doesn't travel solo. Wherever he goes, whether it's a yacht in Ibiza, a club in Paris, or a villa in Brazil, his crew is never far behind. They're known as the Toas, and they're not just his friends, they're his full-time lifestyle team. Gil Cebola, Joda Amancio, Carlos Henrique, childhood friends turned paid professionals. They help run his social media, coordinate events, shoot photos, and protect his image. Each one is reportedly paid around $11,000 a month. Not bad for being part of the most exclusive friend group in football. And when Neymar travels, it's always in style. He owns multiple private jets, including a Phenom 100 and a Cessna Citation 680, both customized for comfort. He once posted from a helicopter branded with his initials. And for parties, he sails on the luxury yacht Nadine, named after his mother, complete with a hot tub and crew. His villas are just as outrageous. From beachfront mansions in Mangaratiba to five-star getaways in Ibiza, Neymar's real estate serves as party HQ wherever he lands. It's not uncommon for these locations to be filled with footballers, influencers, and global celebrities. Over the years, guests have included stars like Drake, Lewis Hamilton, Maluma, and fellow footballers like Dani Alves, Gabriel Medina, and Lucas Lima. At his birthday parties or impromptu weekend escapes, the crowd is always exclusive, and the bill? Eye-watering. This isn't just a group of athletes blowing off steam. This is a lifestyle brand in motion, curated by Neymar and executed by the Toas. And yet, all this luxury comes with a cost. Not just financially, but publicly. Because next, we're breaking down the numbers behind Neymar's parties. And they're bigger than most footballers' annual salaries. Luxury jets, yacht parties, and price tags. You won't believe Neymar's parties aren't just legendary. They're lavish, with costs that would make even the wealthiest do a double take. Take his 2023 New Year's Eve cruise party, for instance. Spanning 3 days aboard a luxury ship, guests enjoyed amenities like casinos, a bowling alley, a 4D cinema, and gourmet dining. Tickets ranged from $1,000 to $6,000, and with hundreds in attendance, the event's total cost likely soared into the millions. Then there's his 28th birthday bash at Paris's Yo-Yo nightclub. With an all-white dress code, a guest list featuring PSG teammates and celebrities, and endless champagne, the evening reportedly cost over $500,000. Security is another significant expense. For high-profile events, Neymar employs top-tier security teams to ensure privacy and safety, often costing tens of thousands per event. And let's not forget the venues. From renting exclusive nightclubs to hosting parties on private islands, the locations themselves come with hefty price tags. Despite these extravagant expenditures, Neymar's net worth remains substantial. As of 2025, Estimates place it between $200 million and $350 million, accumulated through his football salary, endorsements, and savvy investments. However, his spending habits haven't gone unnoticed. Critics have questioned the prudence of such lavishness, especially when juxtaposed with periods of injury or team underperformance. Yet, for Neymar, these events are more than just parties. They're expressions of his brand, a blend of football prowess and celebrity allure. But not all reactions have been celebratory. Some of his most extravagant events have sparked public outcry and even legal scrutiny. What happens when the spotlight outshines the game for Neymar? The party never really ends, but the backlash, that shows up right on time. His lifestyle has always walked the tightrope between celebrity glamour and sporting responsibility. Some call him a showman, others say he's reckless. Either way, people can't stop watching. Among fans, opinions are split. To some, Neymar represents the modern football icon, a global brand, a cultural influencer, a player who knows his worth and lives like it. But to others, he's the guy who's just as likely to trend for a birthday party as for a hat trick. And then there are fans who believe his off-field lifestyle isn't just a distraction, it's a liability. They argue that the constant partying, travel, and late nights contribute to his injuries, making him an unreliable asset despite his undeniable talent. And it's not just fans who have weighed in. Coaches like Thomas Tuchel and Tite have at times publicly expressed frustration over his focus and discipline. Media outlets have criticized him for missing matches due to injury only to be seen partying days later, especially during Brazil's Carnival, which somehow always seems to fall during his injury spells. Even teammates, according to some reports, have grown weary of the circus that surrounds him. In locker rooms where unity and focus are crucial, Neymar's off-pitch spotlight can feel like a sideshow no one signed up for. Kylian Mbappe, for instance, reportedly experienced tension with Neymar, especially after Lionel Messi's arrival at PSG. Neymar mentioned that Mbappe became a little jealous of his close bond with Messi, leading to changes in their relationship and some disagreements. On the other hand, Messi and Neymar have maintained a strong friendship both on and off the pitch. Their camaraderie dates back to their days at Barcelona and continued during their time at PSG, with Messi expressing his enjoyment of playing alongside Neymar. These dynamics highlight how Neymar's lifestyle and relationships have had varying impacts within the team, influencing both camaraderie and tension among teammates. Yet, despite the controversies, he continues to deliver moments of brilliance. That's the paradox of Neymar. He frustrates and dazzles in equal measure. He's a player whose injuries spark memes, whose parties spark headlines, and whose name sells jerseys no matter what he's doing. And maybe that's the balance Neymar's chosen. Football as the foundation, fame as the flourish. Because while other athletes try to avoid distraction, Neymar seems to thrive on it. And just when critics think they've figured him out, he throws another party that sets social media on fire. Now the only question left is, where's the line between lifestyle and legacy? Love him or hate him, you can't look away. Neymar's lifestyle isn't just luxurious, it's legendary. From extravagant birthday bashes in Paris to carnival sightings while sidelined. From private islands to champagne-soaked yachts, he's turned partying into part of his global brand. These aren't just nights out, they're carefully curated moments that amplify his celebrity and spark headlines across the world. Sure, they raise eyebrows. Sure, they've stirred controversy, but they've also made him unforgettable. On the pitch, he's dazzling. Off it, he's unpredictable. And in the spotlight, he's unstoppable. He's not just a footballer, He's a phenomenon, a walking headline, a brand in motion. So now the real question is Neymar redefining what it means to be a modern football superstar? Or just living the wildest side of the dream? And here's the real question every fan keeps asking. Neymar has suffered a string of serious injuries. Is this dream lifestyle coming at the expense of his own career? What level could he have reached if he chose discipline over indulgence? We may never know, but we all wonder. Tell us what you think.